Hi there, the Silver State Superhero Geek here, and the time has come to look at the villains, the bad guys of the superhero realm. Um, Now, before these are going to be focused on boxed, uh, and I do have some honorable mentions I'm going to talk about. I think I got to get right into this because I don't know how long it's going to take. But like I say, I think my limit is 20 minutes, so I've got to get right into the subject here. Um, I noticed in the last video too, I was showing you uh, the figures, and I said, okay, I've got four more to go, and then I showed you number five on the list. So apparently, I'm having a problem counting. So I attribute that to age. Anyway, okay. Honorable mentions. I've got three of them before we get into the favorites. Um, This one, the only reason this is not in the top 10 and very close to number one is because it's not in a box. She is part of my diorama, but I think that she was just one of the biggest butt kicking, oops, and I dropped her weapon, biggest butt kicking characters in Infinity War, and I'm talking about Proxima Midnight. Uh, I think that she was just super bad and powerful, and was one of the better, more impressive figures in that wave. So anyway, I'm mentioning her. Like I say, if she were boxed, I would probably very definitely have her in probably the number two position or three position, or, pushing for number one. So Proxima Midnight. Okay. Another one I am not putting on the top 10 list, probably because this is a double pack, but this is very impressive one. I just got this one the other day, and that's the double pack of Loki and Corvus Glaive. And I'm having a huge inner conflict with this because I want to put this Corvus Glaive in my diorama, which is the trains station scene from Infinity War, and he's in that. And I'm really having a battle with myself about opening this because what I'm thinking is maybe I may even just spring for another one, and so I have one in the box and one out. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm having a big argument with myself over this. So anyway, another honorable mention. Okay, the last honorable mention. I'm going to open a huge can of worms with this, and I'm sorry, but it's just the way I feel. I'll have to get pretty vocal about this. But this is the Joker, and this series is pretty good. Actually, I think this is originally $25, and I went to a comic store here in town, which is not known for being particularly inexpensive, but they had these for $10 less. And there's two figures I got, and I'll show you the other one later because it made my top 10 list. This is more like a cartoon character Joker or a comic book Joker, and that's fine. Um, what I'm going to talk about, though, briefly, the Joker. Um, I'm pretty critical of, the hero movies and things, and to me, the only good Batman movie that I wanted to actually enjoy was one called Batman Begins. All the others have been weak at best, and I did not like Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker. Um, and rest his soul, but I really didn't care for Heath Ledger's either. I know he won a posthumous Oscar for that, and I think it was a nice thing to do for him. And I didn't like the look of the Joker. I thought it was really sloppy looking. And now they're going to have Joaquin Phoenix play the Joker in the Joker movie, and I noticed they're modeling that Joker after the Joaquin Phoenix, or not Joaquin Phoenix, excuse me, Heath Ledger version of the Joker. They're modeling after the look of the Heath Ledger Joker. Um, Now, like I say, first of all, that movie, The Dark Knight, was way too long. It really dragged. I just didn't care for the movie at all. Uh, it just wasn't very good at all. And there's a lot of people, including one of my best friends, that's her favorite movie. And every time that set comes up, she goes, "Whatever, dude." But I didn't like it, and I didn't like the portrayal. And sorry, Rachel, but anyway. Now, in Suicide Squad, they had Jared Leto play the Joker. And guys, I like that Joker a lot better. I liked his portrayal. I thought it was good, and I probably got the minority opinion there, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. Okay, so enough about Joker. Now let's get to the box list. Boy, I'm gonna get some thumbs down on that one, aren't I? Okay. Um, these are pretty randomly shown here. Uh, there are a lot of figures that I will buy simply because I like the way they look. And this was one of those. This is hanging in Walmart, and this is the Gladiator. It's a really, really impressive figure. Now, it doesn't come with a lot of extras or anything there, just the cape and the way it's built, but it's really a solid figure. I originally thought this was a good guy, but I found out that Gladiator is a villain. I know nothing about the character. Nothing. And I mean zero. I just, like I say, just found out that he's a villain. But I'm going to put him at the top there. I really know how many I have here. I think I have about 8 or 9. I'm not sure what it is, not counting the honorable mentions. But I will put him the lowest on the list. But still a good figure, and as I bought it on Eye Appeal. So good job on this one. All right. Let me see what I want to mention here. Okay. This is one of the few I bought at Walgreens. Again, not knowing much about the figure, but I think this is still a good figure, and it still makes my list. And that is Morbius. He looks a lot like kind of like a werewolf. I think he's one of Spider-Man's foes. Don't know anything about the character, but I think this is good enough to be in the top bunch. I think it's a good figure right there. More Halloween looking, but Morbius is good, and actually one of the few I did buy from Walgreens. Okay, but he made the list. I think it's a good figure. So, okay, another one that I think is very good, and this is also one I thought was a good guy for a long time until I found out it's not here, but I not only like the figure, but I like the equipment that comes with this, and I think this is a good one, and this is one of my favorites, and that is the Taskmaster. Now, I don't know much about him, and this is not even really a very hard to get figure, but I like this figure. Now, those of you who are pushing my age, or even something younger, will notice how much this looks like a character from the He-Man show called Skeletor. It does kind of look like him, doesn't it? But I like the shield, I like the sword, I like the equipment it comes with, and I think this is a good figure, and I like it. So, Taskmaster. All right. Another one that I think is really good, and this is a very hard figure to get, and this is also one of those I refuse to open, but I think this is actually, she was my favorite villain until approximate midnight, and I thought she was pretty good. And this is from, of course, Thor Ragnarok, and that is Hela. And this is interesting on this figure because almost immediately when this came out, she became highly collectible, and I believe this figure was almost immediately retired for some reason. I don't know why. I've never seen it on the shelf, and I got her on eBay, and I paid more than the retail value. But this is a toughie there, and this is probably going to be one of those that's going to be highly collectible. This uniform that she had was strictly computer graphics. I noticed when they was watching the shootings for the movie that Kate Blanchett was wearing a computer graphic costume totally. So this is a total computer graphics, but she was pretty wicked and pretty powerful and bad, and I think she was outstanding in that, and one of my favorite villains. So, all right. Now, there's going to be a heavy female theme in this, because with the exception of one, the remainders of these are female villains. But this one, okay, this figure, I think the character is very good. I like the looks of this, and that is Harlequin. I don't like that jester look that they have on some of these figures, which is the classic as the comic book version. She only appeared like that once in the movie Suicide Squad. Uh, but now this figure does not particularly look like Margot Robbie. Okay, and that's one of the things I like in the figures. I like them to look like the actual character, and this one doesn't. But it's a good figure, and I like the character of Harley Quinn. And Margot Robbie is a beautiful lady. Okay, I won't say what's on my mind, but just she has her one really nice feature that I enjoy. But that's I'm not going to say it on here anyway. But Harley Quinn, uh, good figure. All right, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. I'm going to go with. Just give me 1 second here. Tending to a nose here. Sorry, running nose. Sorry about that. No, I don't have a cold. It's post-nasal drip. I'm going to go ahead and throw this one in. This is a recent acquisition. I got this online. Another one I don't know very much about, and I guess this is a Spider-Man foe. And this one did not have the Build-A-Figure in it, but I really don't care. I like this. It's in pretty good shape. Box is in good shape, and this is a good character, and that is the Puma. This is one I don't know anything about, just another villain, but this is a very good figure. I really like this. Another one I wanted for a long time that's kind of similar is Sabretooth. He's not just cat-like, but it's always too expensive when I see it, so I haven't gotten that. But this Puma is good, and I got it at a reasonable price. And I say no Build-A-Figure. It doesn't have the Kingpin Build-A-Figure, but I don't care because I don't really want to build that. So, but I like the Puma. Okay. Now, the last three, I've got two types of one, and I'm going to show you the version of this. Now, this first one, okay, was on my watch list on eBay for months before I finally decided to buy it. This character has always been one of my favorite DC villains, and I remember they used to have a Sunday comic of Batman in the colored comics, and they had a sequence where it ran 3 or 4 weeks with this particular villainess, and I thought she was pretty good. I didn't particularly like the portrayal of her in one of the Batman movies that was done, but I think I like this character. It's an interesting character, and that is Poison Ivy. Now, this one here, as I said, it sat on my watch list for a long time and nobody bought it, and I finally went ahead and bought this. These, I guess, is Aunt Lucia versions of they're all female figures. The only criticism I have is this just a little bit too cartoony. Okay, the way it looks, and that's one of the things I hesitated to buy it. But I like this character, Poison Ivy. I think it's very good, so I ended up buying her. Now, there's a version I like much better by the same company that made the Joker, which I'm going to show you now. And that's where this takes the spot. These are tied. This is one by that company, DC Comic Super Villains. This is another version. This is a much better version. Okay, Poison Ivy, but a lot more realistic, good costuming, better figure. And that I do like this one, but I like the other one. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is a better version of that, and I like this one better. So, Poison Ivy. All right. Excuse me. Number one. This is one of those that I was watching another guy's action figure channel, and he was going through one of the stores, and he happened to look at it on the wall and went, okay, man, put it back. And I looked at that figure and said, God, that's a good figure. I want that. And almost immediately I found it online and ordered it. The only place I've seen this character was from the movie Elektra, and was one of the bad people, one of the villains in that movie. But this figure, I think, is just so well done. And this is not only my favorite villainess, it's one of my favorite figures in general. It's almost pushing number one. I'd have to put up a good argument for that, and that is Typhoid Mary. I think they did such a good job in this. It doesn't particularly look like the actress that played Typhoid Mary in Elektra. She was a little more Asian looking. She looks kind of Asian, but she was definitely more Asian. Um, and I just think the effects are so good. I love the broken nylon here. The costume, the figure itself is very impressive. This is one of these that you see like right here. You might look at it and say, well, that's okay. It's not that good though. You see it, actually see it. It looks a lot better. I think it looks pretty good here, but it looks a lot better in Sin. But this takes the number one position for that. Typhoid Mary. This is a character I'd like to see them use again too. I don't know, well, she killed her in Elektra, but of course Elektra died and came back, so who knows. But Typhoid Mary, good character, good figure, and this takes the top position. So anyway, so that wraps up the villains. Don't have too much else to talk to you about, but I would like to thank everyone for taking interest in this. I'd like to get more subscribers, and comments are welcome. If you're so inclined, a thumbs up would be nice because it does help me, and I'm trying to make these videos better. So hopefully one day I will get some better recording equipment and know how to do some effects and things to put into it too. So, but I'll keep you updated on things. There's figures I'm looking for, hoping to get soon. I'll be doing things on those, and we'll talk more about things later. But for now, everyone, have a good day and keep hunting.